You live in the shadows, preferring to pull strings and manipulate outcomes in your own way by your own schedule. And now the opportunities to do so have increased. New clans and new underground factions have emerged. I think it may be time to increase our expansion of influence, which is an expansion for War of Whispers, which was designed by Jeremy Stoltzfus and published by Tabletop Tycoon, who helped sponsor this video. Hi everybody, my name is Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph, and we are here with Board Game Geek. Well, it's time to pull a string or two, so let's get this game down to the table to learn how to play War of Whispers Expansion of Influence. Expansion of Influence adds 3 new modules to the game as well as a 5th player. Now there's a 6th clan, the Orca Clan, for players to control and manipulate. New action spaces for your agents are now present in the form of various guilds that will allow you to influence the game even more. And if you want a new game every single time, you can try out one of the new scenarios. But before we get into all that, let's go over the setup. Place the board in the center of the table with the side with the cities and other icons face up. The other side is used for scenarios, which we'll talk about a bit later. Set up the game in the normal way using the rules from the base game. If playing with the Orca Clan, set up their pieces per the base game rules. Place a bounty token on every Orca Clan region. Place the 3 raid tokens in these 3 regions as shown. Place the peace token, the 5 port tokens, the 6 bounty tokens in these spaces here. Place the 4 upgrade tokens in this space with this tile on bottom, then the other 3 tiles on top in this order with the 4 banner token on top. Instead of setting up your loyalty markers in the normal way, you will now use these loyalty cards. Each card has 10 sets, and you will decide as a group which set to play with, and then each player is randomly given 1 starting loyalty card and will set up their loyalty tokens in the order shown on the set. For example, if we chose to do set 6 and then I was given this card, I would put the eagle token on the ×4, the elephant token on the ×3, the bear token on the ×2, the horse token on the ×0, and the lion on -1. All players then return these loyalty cards to the box without revealing them. Note that despite there being the Orca Clan, there is no loyalty token for the Orca Clan, and any cities they control at the end of the game do not score anyone any points. Also note that if you're playing with 5 players, you must play with both the guilds and the Orca Clan modules. And with that, the setup is complete, and now it's time to play. Before we talk about the modules, I want to note 2 small changes. Now, regardless of the number of players, in the very first round, all players will place 3 agents instead of the normal 2, and then all other rounds are normal. Also, at the end of the game, every revealed loyalty token you have will lose you 1 point. As mentioned earlier, this expansion adds 3 modules, and you can play with any of them in any combination. First, let's talk about the Orca Clan. This adds a 6th clan to the game, new regions to fight over, and more places to put your agents. The Orca Clan, however, is different in 2 ways. One, as stated earlier, they have no loyalty tokens, so they won't score any players any points. And 2, they may only attack into regions that have raid tokens. Other than that, the clan works the same as their other 5 clans in the game. Their council actions are the last to activate each round, as shown by their placement around the board. Throughout the game, these raid tokens will be going out onto the board. The Orca Clan may only ever attack into regions that have a raid token. So this group can attack here due to the raid token, but not here or here. Note that all of the regions on the Orca Clan's home island have a pre-printed raid token, and therefore they can always attack regions at home. Though other clans may not attack the islands, they will need a port to do so, but we'll talk about ports in a bit. Now let's go over the Orca Clan's council actions. This action allows you to make an attack with the Orca Clan. After the attack, if the Orca Clan conquered the region, you will move the raid token to a new region. It can go anywhere on the board other than one of their home regions, a region with a raid token already, or the region they just conquered. These actions allow you to do 2 things. First, you will move a raid token to a new region, then you will place banners according to how many farms or towers the Orca Clan controls, just like if they were any other clan. This action places new banners according to the base rules, and this action allows you to draw 1 card from any clan deck. You'll note that the Orca Clan does not have a faction deck. Other than that, the Orca Clan works like any other. Now let's talk about the guilds module. The guilds provide 6 new spaces that you can place your agents. The guild spaces will activate before any of the clans do, and these guild spaces are not considered to be faction spaces, and therefore cannot be targeted by cards that target faction spaces. Also, unlike the faction spaces, if a guild space is not taken by an agent, it will simply not activate. It is not activated by the nearest agent to the right like the faction spaces are. When activating the Ambassadors Guild, you will place the peace token in any region. If it's already in a region, you may move it to a new one. When this token is present in a region, that region may not be the target of attacks. When activating the Seafarers Guild, the player will place a port token into any region on the map. If it is the first time this has been activated in the game, the player will actually place 2 tokens instead. During the game, when making an attack, all port regions are considered to be adjacent. Note that the only way to attack one of the Orca Clan's home regions is to place a port there and then attack it from the mainland or by using certain card abilities. When activating the Commander's Guild, you will place the top upgrade tile onto a council action, and now that space has an additional action to choose from. Note that each council position can only have 1 upgrade token. These 2 tokens add either 4 or 5 banners. This allows the players to make 2 consecutive attacks, and these may be with different armies. And this allows you to draw 2 cards from that faction's Empire deck. Note that if you place this one on the Orca Clan, it will have no effect since they don't have a faction deck. The Bounty Hunters Guild and the Scholars Guild reward you for keeping your agents there, as they both can be promoted. When you go there, you will do the tier 1 ability, but if next round your agent is still there, you will cover it with its token and get to do its tier 2 ability, and then you'll flip it to its tier 3 next round. But if the space is abandoned, it reverts back down to tier 1. At the Bounty Hunters Guild, for tier 1, you will place a bounty token in any region without a bounty. Tier 2 allows you to place 1 bounty token and also move 1 bounty token. And tier 3 allows you to place 1 bounty token in any 2 regions. When you make a successful attack against a region with a bounty token, you will collect it and it will be worth 1 point at the end of the game. At the Bureaucrats Guild, you will remove your agent that you place there from the game, and you will choose 1 other player and remove 1 of theirs from the game. Place your target's agent here as a reminder. Each player can only have 1 of their agents removed in this way and may not be targeted again by this action. At the Scholars Guild, if it's on tier 1, you may move 1 of your other agents to an empty council space on the board. At tier 2, you may swap 2 agents, and these may belong to you or an enemy. Note that you may not swap into or out of the guild, but you may swap 2 pieces in the guild. At tier 3, you may swap the active agent with any enemy agent, though note that the tier doesn't change when this happens, and the agent you swap with is now at a tier 3 Scholar Guild space. The last module is the Scenario module. If using scenarios, you will use the other side of the board. This side does not have any symbols pre-printed on the various regions. You will populate the regions with farms, towers, cities, etc. based on which scenario you want to play. Or you may draft out the setup. When doing so, you will take the components according to this list on the back of the rulebook. Then, starting with the first player, each player will select 2 elements and place them onto the board. Note that banners are broken down into groups, and so 1 element can be taking 1 group of banners. Once it gets to the last player in line, you will then reverse and draft backwards. Do this back and forth until all elements have been placed. And that is all the new modules in Expansion of Influence. Expansion of Influence gives the players more ways to manipulate and influence the game. The Orca Clan gives more spaces for agents and another faction to control. The guilds add more ways to change up the board state, the actions, and adjacency with things like ports. And if the Expansion of Influence seems like an expansion you'd enjoy, make sure to check it out and learn more. And until next time, I've been Nick Murphy, and that is how to play War of Whispers Expansion of Influence. Have a great day.